Now we come to the recommendations. The Commission, therefore, makes the following recommendations. That employment and labor-related matters be reported to the CCMA and the Compensation Fund. That estates-related issues on wills, deceased estates and assets, should the family wish to dispute the validity of the will, such disputes must be reported to the Office of the Master of High Court in the Department of Justice and Constitutional Development. That alleged criminal matters such as rape, assault, corruption, murder, money laundering be reported to the South African Police Services. That the mission should work together with the Department of Social Development to develop and implement programs on child protection matters, including awareness on child abuse, neglect, and exploitation as soon as possible in order to mitigate abuse of children. That for any form of corporal punishment, any form of corporal punishment, if still practiced within the mission, it must be reported to the South African Police Service. That virginity inspection, ukuhlolwa, as a cultural practice, must be performed in the mission. May be performed in the mission on those who volunteer to partake in the practice, but should not be imposed on anyone. That families of the graves located at Magoza or Kamagoza, which is disputed, that they are located at the mission itself, have the right to access their graves. Should the family experience any difficulties or be denied access to the graves by whoever has the control over access to such graves, they should report the matter directly to the Commission for Intervention. That disputes over lack of accountability and compliance on PBO laws be reported to the South African Revenue Services. That any religious practice in the mission which is illegal or against the law and cause harm to members of the mission and the mission's school learners be reported to the South African Police Services, as it would fall outside the scope of Section 15 and Section 31 of the Constitution. The mission is to apologize to the complainants and or former members for the hurt which they could have caused as a result of the practices of the mission. That most of all, a reconciliation between the mission and former members who have been hurt by the past practices of the mission be facilitated for the purposes of peace and unity.